Thank you, Rachel. Yes, we're live now. I think the first word that maybe the audience hears live is just Rachel going confidence. Which I
it's
really
how I'm setting
appreciate.
the mood for the stream.
Yes, confidence streaming.
I mean, that's what all of us are gonna need today.
I mean, until somebody confirms for me that they can hear me in the chat, I think I will continue to feel unconfident. So I don't even know.
I'm in the chat.
Ava's ready to report. No, just
Elise, we
website.
can see you. We can hear you.
Yay.
You have visual. We have audios.
You're great. Thanks, Chelsea. I was waiting for you. I really was.
How do we taste though?
Well, Kelvy tastes like hallucinogenics.
Hallucinogenic toad, yeah.
Kelvy tastes like the good drugs.
The good drugs. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
We are here again. Sorry, last week was weird, but this week, back at it. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing all right. It's been, it's been a week, and many of us are, at 10 stress in real life, and I appreciate all of you players being here, audience people being here. Yeah. Also, because apparently it still needs to be said, it's unconscionable at this point that action hasn't been taken against the people who murdered Breonna Taylor. So Black Lives Matter, you can use !BLM, you can use !donate to get more information in our Discord about places to research. I don't think we've changed it in a while. Maybe that's something I can work on this week. But, it's just I every now and then I think, oh, should I change that cover page? And then I'm just like, no, because what the fuck, So anyway, if you use Twitter, if you use places to kind of keep the say her name hashtag alive with Breonna Taylor, don't forget, because I've seen it lose steam lately, and it's, it needs to be kept somewhere in the forefront of people. So anyway, that is, I think, what we'll say right now for that. And we want to do a recap of last session. I already got everybody's stress levels from last time. So let's go ahead and jump into our recap. And I have this lovely new setup so that you can actually see me rolling from the audience perspective, which wasn't the main motivation. I didn't actually care about you seeing me rolling, but hey, it's an added benefit of surprise. Now there's actually also a thing. So Kelvy is D10 plus 1 today for his bugification.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, it's taking a long time, keeping us in suspense. Roll 20 is going slow. All right, maybe we'll never get to know if this is how slow Roll 20
There you go.
He
just won't be a bug.
I am okay with that.
Oh, here we go.
You
rolled a
dodged
9.
it by this much. Oh, you're safe.
Oh, good.
You're safe.
You put the +1 in beforehand.
Yeah.
Thank God. Okay.
Yeah, the +1. You rolled an 8. I already had the +1, the math.
You almost killed him.
Whew.
I mean, we almost tipped the scales into over 50% bug.
Yeah, that was the worry.
No, I meant you almost killed Tyler.
Oh.
Am I gonna
anxiety
be
of
this for the rest of this here?
This might be a great time to remind you that there was a mechanic given to you a little while ago where if Kelvy sees Marguerite in the evenings, there might be things that can be done. But we've only had one evening since then, so.
Yep.
I don't even think he slept last time, so.
No, I didn't. I spent my time writing because I had to get some shit done, and then I immediately left. So.
Yep. All right.
Maybe if I make it down within the next 5 sessions, I can.
That's really the problem. I feel like this particular advanced tree was not designed for a week taking 40 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So let's hear from everybody. What did you all do last session?
Stuff.
I mean,
Good.
I got sad.
I read a book.
Oh, Elise
Yes, Ulrich
murdered
read a book.
Neza.
Okay,
Yeah.
I murdered Nessa or Marilee
Yeah, you murdered them. Elise
did
herself
murder-
murdered.
I mean,
Neza.
inadvertently, I was thinking about it. Kelvy a little bit murdered Neza because the reason that Marilee gave Kelvy was, you know, if they're believing this conspiracy theory and they got all this chatter, which was the main reason, but like the side reason was a little bit like Kelvy's orchestration of like let's try and do shit. That's just upsetting.
Yeah, Barnabas tried so hard with them.
I'm just glad you didn't turn into more of a bug just now, right next to her.
Just my very first note from last time was Hennis is still asleep. And then Rick does his weird mirror spell.
Yeah, I did I took the perfect mirror advance, and so I wanted to test that out, and I basically just sat in front of a mirror for like an hour and a bunch of mirrors, and had my consciousness expanded. It was great. And then I read a book that taught me a lot about Damnau, which is the old deity name for the unified moon god. And I learned that at some point down the line, if I feel like investigating this, I might be able to, learn more and find some shrines and stuff like that. Could be cool. Who knows?
We learned a lot about the Hallowed D.
Yes.
I didn't write any notes about what you learned last time because it was a lot of information.
I wrote about it, so it's all good.
There you go.
I do have the story
I-
typed up that I could also send you on, because it just occurred to me that probably would have been nice.
I mean, if you want to like put it in handouts, that works.
Yeah. Do that.
I said too that Barnabas eats while heading up Spire and gets a nice refresh from his red feast of on some lovely Spire corpse. And then he meets Minrai at her family house and meets her best friend.
Do you remember their name?
Gosh, no.
Do you remember all of their names?
Does it have the word autumn in it?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Good enough.
That is good enough.
They told us where we could try and catch a sky whale here to get up to New Heaven, and I wrote Barnabas is real nervous about having to walk through parts of Spire that he hasn't been to. And
My notes say that I hugged you.
Yeah, because you hugged me to tell me, don't worry, you're my favorite, right after you hugged Autumn and told them, don't worry, you're my favorite.
Right.
It was beautiful. It was peak Minrai. I also wrote that Kelvy tried to take the bullet for Neza, but failed. But then you tried to, it would have messed up your reputation, but you had resistance, so there was no fallout. It was basically just like, all right, everything's fine. I guess Neza's dead. And then, I mean, I know at the very end, too, Hennis had a whole bunch of shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I didn't mean to call you out. Sorry.
No, I just realized that I have like a good amount of notes on everyone else and then just one line for me.
Yeah, I wrote Hennis follows his friend.
Your drug dealer's roommate?
And you got to find his roommate
Yes.
who's missing.
I killed my drug dealer's roommate's brother one time, and now I have to go and save his life.
Okay, I think
There you
I
go.
love the layers so
Mhm.
much.
I think you guys can all see the story of the Hallow D now in your notes in the handouts in Roll20. So if you want to, you can peruse it there.
Neat.
Thank you for reminding me that that function existed. I was about to pull up just my what's it called? Google Drive, where I had the notes like on this computer to like just drag and drop, right? And then I was like, oh, that's not a good idea to just show the entire world your Google Drive. Like, let's let everyone see what you're doing, Elise. All right.
Unfinished fan
Shameful,
fiction
unfinished-
folder.
Yeah,
and...
that's it. No. Okay, so let's see. I was only half listening because I was also doing that. So you guys talked a little bit about a lot of things, including
Neza was headshot.
Neza was shot in the head.
Totally dead.
Right after I told
100%.
Neza no more bullets.
No more bullets.
Right.
bullets.
I mean, I
Just
think
one
it was
more.
it
Just
was
one
a-
more.
It was
Just
one more.
inevitable.
One more
Oh,
bullet.
jeez. Ouch. It was inevitable that, like, I think no matter what we did, they were going to get shot by Marilee because she was very, like, it wasn't just that, like, you told them and they were super on edge. It was like you told them and they were already, like, crazy and, like, super noticeable. And also, she could touch them and tell.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't think that anything we did really, I don't know, maybe, but maybe you having them sign over the company to you, actually. So yeah, no, that might be on you, Kelby. I
Yeah,
rescind
I
my
mean-
previous reassurance.
Neza, Kelby still believes that Neza had the superior vision for this apartment. So he's feeling the feels, and we're gonna
Feeling the
yeah.
feels.
I don't know.
It's a good
Yeah.
way to describe it.
And then yes, we talked about Hennis had what's Gray show up. And
Yes, who we've seen once before.
Once
He's my
before.
other drug dealer.
besides Rick. Bless.
Rick is friend first.
Friend first, drug dealer second. This guy is drug dealer first, friend second. Which is why he offered you a 50% discount on your next big buy if you agreed to help him.
That's it. He couldn't even give it to him fucking free. God.
Well,
I
sorry.
tried.
Hennis does ask for like the expensive drugs sometimes, so this is not easy shit to procure that he's offering at 50% off. This is the hard stuff. Okay, was there
2.0?
what?
Some Dagger 2.0.
Tiger 2.0.
Ugh.
Fantasy cocaine, which we've just embraced. The right. And let's pick up with Hennis, where we left off. Hennis was in Derelictus, and you asked Gray if you could have a few minutes before meeting him at Civilization, the bar, which is the last place that Gray knew Harlow? Is that what we named him?
Harlan.
There we go. Harlan was before disappearing. And you mentioned you were going to perhaps find some gutterkin.
Yes, I was hoping to go up to the main, the name of that place that connects all of the Spire, the main entrance to that. Yes,
Mhm.
thank you. Yeah.
Easy enough. It's not hard to get to. You have to detour a little out of your way from where you had been following Gray, but you know the way.
Do I see some gutterkin there? Can I flag one down?
Yeah. There's one kind of perched outside. They have kind of like a table where they like set up and take business, and sometimes there's someone there and sometimes there's not. And today there is a little kind of squirrelish looking gutterkin sitting there.
Do I recognize them at all since I go up and down so much?
I think, yeah, we'll say this one attends the table fairly frequently down here. Rarely takes people on trips up and down, but
Perfect.
is much more commonly just kind of like sitting here kind of calling for guides and things like that.
That's exactly what Hennis is looking for, so he's definitely going to flag them down. And do you remember how long ago you said Harlan was last at the apartment?
2.5 days is what Gray
Okay.
told you.
Let me mark that down real quick. Perhaps you can help me. I have a question. There may be some coin in it for you if you have an answer that I want to hear.
There may be an answer to for you if there's some coin in it.
Are you holding? Oh, you are.
Just slightly below camera. Sorry, I realized it was like, oh, fire.
Yeah, I'll hand over some coin.
Okay.
Some Sten.
Yeah. We'll say like this is enough like not to have to mark a silver, but like if you end up having to pay them any more, this will go into silver stress. They pocket it.
Perhaps 2 days ago, perhaps little less than that. Do you remember seeing a person? I describe Harlan. Did they try to go up Spire around that time? And I'll hold up another silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 days. And they sit and they think. And then they like hold up a little clawed finger to tell you to wait, and they disappear the uh into the into Spire a bit. And a minute or so later, like right as you're about to be like, did they just run off with my money? They reemerge with another gutterkin. And this one is oh, I don't know. This is so much fun to just think of like what these things are. I think
Just wait
this
till
one's
I
gonna
ask
be
their
kind of
names.
pigeon-like.
Okay.
This one's a pigeon a pigeon girl. And she kind of sidles over and she's much more kind of suspicious looking. You do not recognize this one. And she sees the coins in your hand and she holds out kind of a weirdly feathered clawed hand as well.
I'm gonna look over at the squirrel-looking gutterkin.
Mm-hmm. They nod at you like really eagerly, like.
I hand over a single Sten.
Okay, one Sten.
One.
The pigeon girl like shoots a really dirty look at the squirrel. But she pockets the Sten and she's like, so it's kind of my job to keep an eye on things, and I might have seen the person you're talking about. 2 days ago in the morning ish, like late morning, and then they hold out their little clawed hand again.
One more.
Okay. Takes the Sten, stuffs it in her pocket, gives you this time a really dirty look, and says, well, he might have been going up Spire. The squirrel kind
Perhaps, as I told your friend, if there are answers that I want, there is gold in it for you. You already have some coin. You know that I am good for it. Perhaps if I get my answers, I will be more inclined to part with something else.
there is they turn around and there is a short but furious conversation. Not furious like angry, but just like very rapid chatter between the squirrel and the pigeon person.
But it's also short because they are short.
They are short also, yes. And the pigeon girl kind of like throws her arms up and turns around, crosses her arms and like leans against the side of the wall and is like, fine. They were heading up Spire, I guess. I did see them come back down Spire later that day. They were only gone for a day. It wasn't even that interesting. I think their guide was, oh, I don't know. It was that when she looks at the squirrel person and she's like, the little rat one, and the squirrel person goes, Gratch, and she's like, yeah, Gratch. I think his guide was Gratch. I didn't hear what his business was. It was none of my business. I just keep an eye on things. Does that satisfy you?
Mm, yes. I'll give, like a good amount.
Okay.
I don't know what the usual charge is.
Well, if you'll take a silver stress,
Okay.
yeah, because like at this point you've kind of been stacking it up. So you take a silver stress, which puts you at 1 stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're not going to roll because it has to be under. And I think it's enough that it kind of placates her, and she. Okay, one more thing. I did kind of notice that when he came back, he was like upset about something, and he kind of seemed like um like he was in a hurry. I don't know where he was going, but he definitely was not happy.
Well, the Spire will do that to you. I'm not surprised.
And they both kind of just like nods, like knowing nods and smiles are had. And then the pigeon girl's like, I've got to get back to my post, so unless there's more money in it for me,
You both have been very helpful. Thank you. And I'll hand like another small stand to the squirrel gutterkin because I promised them some more at the end, but
Yeah.
not the pigeon.
Yep. So she takes it or they take it and they pocket it. And then they they sit back down at their table and open up the book in front of them. That they you sometimes see them scratching notes in, and they look up at you kind of expectantly, like going up Spire today. Then,
Soon, but I have some business to finish up quickly.
all right. Goes back to kind of scratching notes into the book.
Cool, and I will head back towards civilization.
All right. Who else was down Spire? Rick.
Yeah.
Believe
Let's
that's it.
hop over to Rick. What are you up to? Still reading?
No, I think we had discussed that I basically gleaned most of all there was to glean from this book last time. And the other thing that I wanted to do was basically like satiate my fear for the clutch phobia. And so I feel like while I'm down here, it's been a while since I've done anything to support Marguerite or the clutch. So like maybe I'm like donating blood or something.
Okay.
Like yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can head down to the basement and do that. I will say if you want to, and this is something you can think about for long term because you have the book now, that if there are like specific questions that you have about Damnu, the goddess, the unified goddess, you could probably use this book as a place to like investigate specifics. So, like if there's something that Rick like would have in mind, and it may not be something that like you, Sam, would know like right now, like what would Rick want to know? But like if it comes up in the future or other things like, and you're like, oh, I wonder if I could get that from the book, you're always welcome to like ask, is that something I could find out in that book? And like, because I think that
Okay.
right now it's just like because it's stories, right? And so when you don't know exactly what you're looking for, you're just kind of reading these stories of these old things. But in the case that like you come across like some kind of information where you're like, I wonder if I could figure that out based on like piecing together clues from these stories, like I would totally be down for you to like ask that and we can play with that too.
Does the a book have a name? Because right now all I have is the story of Palodi, and that's it.
Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about a name for the book. To be quite honest, which is let's I mean it's basically just like I mean we can call it something like Stories and Hallows of Damnu or something. I think
Sure.
that like the on the side of the book it's kind of been scratched off intentionally and you only find this on once you open it and see like the inside cover. It's
Okay.
very intentionally been kind of disfigured on the outside to not immediately look like contraband.
Yeah. Well, because I've put like literally no thought into that, like I feel like right now I should
Yeah.
probably do something for the clutch.
Sure.
I mean, what what are my confidence levels like at this point that we're going to be successful? Because like me, human Sam, like I don't know how legitimately confident Rick is in their efforts, because I feel like he still thinks he's putting on like a sort of I mean, I feel like his motto is still like basically fake it till you make it, but he's really not confident at this point that they're going to actually be successful, but he doesn't want to lead on to that.
Yeah.
Um
I mean, I think that you should role play it how you think Rick sees it at this point. I think the things that I would say as like kind of guiding principles on how you want to decide that is like what you've done so far, right? Um you've had some successes in your plans in terms of finding out more about what's going on. You've had successes around like, harmonious properties kind of getting shifted to Calvi's control more. Success around finding out more about and planting seeds of mistrust up Spire with Faisal and Hellion. Um, and on the flip side of that, like you haven't had any kind of moment where you've been like, and this will result in the calling off of the plan, right?
Yeah.
And so there's, I think, especially with the fact that it's like now Friday mid morning, afternoon, like getting to afternoon, there's 2.5 days left before demolition would begin, and everybody is supposed to have evacuated. So at this point, like what is going to happen, I think, is pretty up in the air, especially from kind of Rick's perspective, like knowing what you know, kind of thing. And so I guess let that kind of guide how you play.
Sure. Okay. That definitely helps. I think in light of that, then I feel like Rick is probably sitting on like he's not positive that there's going to be a great outcome, but he feels like there's still a strong chance. But at the same time, I think there's another part of him that's like, well, if everything turns to shit, we need a backup plan. And so I think that if anything, that's what he'd want to discuss with Marguerite at this point.
Yeah. So let's
while getting blood drawn.
Let's hop you on down to what's happening here, Ava.
Oh hey, wow. What? Much moist to goddess. Goodness to goodness.
No, it says much too moist.
Much too moist.
Yeah.
Oh geez.
Spelled wrong.
Proud dehumidifier.
Goodness dry.
H2O.
Kelvy.
Extra moist on Kelvy. Ew.
I
Don't remember what happened, but that's what it says. Okay.
Oh, let's see.
We've got a wet ass clutch.
Before we do
what
the
is
scene,
nothing is spelt wrong there.
much too moist. TOO moist.
You mean
Oh.
TOO? Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know what
Before
you're
we do the
talking
scene,
about.
before the stream started, I mentioned this to my players, but nothing I'm eating is agreeing with me right now, and I'm not feeling hot. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna just run off for like 5 minutes, see how I feel after that. But if y'all want to like stay on stream and chat about like what your plan is, I can just leave it going, or I can put us on the like. So what would y'all prefer? Do you want like 5 minutes to like no GM present plan something, or do you want me to like just shut it down for a minute?
I think we can chat.
Yeah, you can
Nothing
leave it
wrong with
open.
that.
I'm not sure we'll do
You can
anything
also just shoot
productive.
the shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, entertain
Yeah.
people for a minute while I go.
Yeah,
empty
you're
my
good.
stomach
Take your
out.
time.
Okay, that's it.
So, how's everybody's day been? How are you doing?
I've definitely been paying attention and not writing work emails while everybody else has been doing things.
I've just been like staring into the void. It's been rough.
Yep.
I got sent a lot of emails the day I left for camping, and so now I like just got a job, so now I'm like responding. So it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And you
Don't check your
start
emails,
next
that's where the
Monday, right?
emails are.
Tuesday.
Oh,
But
Tuesday.
yeah.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, and they asked if I wanted to add a third family, and I don't know.
A third family?
Oh, I'm doing the thing that a lot of people are doing, and that I'm assisting kids that are all the online school, like all schools are online right now. So I'm going to be an in-person teacher to a
Nice.
small group. And then also to try and not feel so bad and privileged about the fact that a bunch of like, you know, well-off people can pay a private teacher to come and help them. I'm also trying to set up a thing with the local school district to tutor online to kids that are on free and reduced lunch. But my school district does not have it together. And their response to me was, we thank you for the interest, but our number one goal is to get kids back in school. And I'm just like, bruh, really?
Ah, yikes. Did you see that one school like that all went back to school and then they had like all those pictures of like, we're doing it, and it's like all of them together with no masks on, and then they closed that school because everyone
Yeah.
got sick.
Did
And
you
I was-
see? So Boulder literally CU had their move-in day or move-in this week, and like friggin' University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, it has been over for 2 weeks, and they're
100
already
something
sending kids
students.
home. They're
Yeah.
already
That's a-
sending them home. I'm like, why did you even have the move-in in the first place?
Sam, that's a great thing. We could take questions for the
Oh,
characters.
sorry. Yeah, I don't just need to talk about this stuff. It's
No, you're
fine.
good. We can talk about
No,
that
it's
stuff
totally
too.
fine. I could not.
Well, you know, well, I mean, no one has asked any questions yet, so like we can.
I mean,
still
do we
keep
want to
talking about-
talk game plan for
Yeah,
whatever?
Kelvia, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Oh,
Yeah,
do we-
Kelby, what are you going to do? That's the
Do we
real
want the
question
flowchart?
here. Minright
as I
doesn't
said
eat
before we went on stream, Kelby's gonna play a game of Russian roulette. He might be the only one playing though. We're gonna
with like
go
a gun.
I'm gonna attempt to have everybody just lose their fucking minds at this meeting for one reason or another, and we're gonna see where that goes.
I feel like
Will there be men with guns?
Oh, if it goes wrong, Kelvy's gonna hide under a table, and we're gonna go to town with a gun. I am gonna try to strong arm Faisal. I don't know how well that's gonna go, but I do have a temporary bond with him, so we'll see where that ends up going. But what I'm gonna do is not exactly what a friend would do for a friend. So we'll, yeah.
Like I still have like for the rest of Friday, which I feel like is gonna last like at least a month. Like I have my perfect mirror thing active, so I can influence anyone with all of their domains. But I'm not up Spire, so it's kind of like, well, fuck. Like I feel kind of like not exactly useful. But
I'm gonna need a priest. You should make your way to the gardens.
what are we doing up Spire again in New Haven? I have no idea what our plan is. Minrai just knows she's going with Barnabas.
Yeah. Just taking a pause writing that email because I'm paying attention.
Oh no, write
it's
the
fine.
email. You're good.
So my goal up in New Haven is to find out if he had a chance to look at the blood that I sent up, because I sent up Neza's blood yesterday? No, the day before, probably. I don't know. It was like 2 days ago, maybe. What is time? To have them check their blood, their Vizzy blood. So hopefully to check on anything that they found, to give them any information that I have found out about Viz, and also to ask questions about King Teeth, because that's why the what are those things called? Ghouls.
Oh, the ghouls.
Have been acting real crazy. Something's going on with King Teeth. So since we're kind of like we're, the people who worship Charnel up in New Haven are the people who didn't turn into ghouls. So we're kind of like the opposite of King Teeth. So I think just kind of finding out what they know and things. And hi, you're back.
Oh, I'm back. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Did you want to finish your thought about
That
Charnel?
was pretty much the end.
You're just really feeling your religious fervor tonight. Or some teeth.
No, Ava asked what we would do once we were up in New Heaven.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's see. I was gonna put Rick a token. Do I have your token? You can drag your token to the.
I don't see it.
But you.
I can pretend to be Barnabas right now.
No, that's okay. Let's see if that. See,
Barnabas, you're on the bottom right with me.
if you open your character sheet, does it show you your token? Oh, I wonder if I need to scroll down. Like on the bio and info page.
Nope.
Just put your squat little face there.
Oh, that worked actually. Not bad.
Okay, it's good enough. It's fine. You have a token, but we'll make.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
Yeah.
there's a better way, and someone in chat can tell me all about it. Okay.
So just so we remember, I do have like my influence thing on. So
Yes.
if I ever like ask Marguerite to do something, I'll have all of her domains, whatever they might be.
Right. Okay. Cool. So you are giving blood, and yeah. What do you want to say? How do you want to kick things off?
Ouch! Come on now.
Oh, such a. I have to find Marguerite's voice. Oh my God, why is it so hard? I feel so much sympathy for you, Ava, right in this moment, because usually you've talked before I do as Marguerite. I can just mimic
Quick,
whatever you're
Minrai,
doing.
say something.
Hello, Margarita, are you there?
I thought you midwives were used to doing stuff
We
like
are.
this.
Ava's
Do not
got
to be foolish.
such a baby, Ulrich. Just a little pinch, and she keeps going.
Okay. And then finally, blood starts flowing out. So, well, well, first of all, how have things been down here? I feel like it's been forever since I've been down, but it's probably just been like 12 hours.
Yes, it hasn't been that long, but the cracks are holding. The cement seems to be working some. I don't know. I still sense some energy coming through, but it's not the same. It is better.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's still going to require us to, get whatever the other things that we're supposed to grab possibly to fix it. It's going to need those things.
Those are not
and,
easy things to get.
And no, unfortunately. What's this? I see you've been redecorating. Much too moist.
Minrai, she always scrawls things in the blood of the drow who donate. It's too much. It's too much.
Oh,
She's wasting drow blood.
No, she would never.
I mean, you smear it on the eggs to
Yeah.
like
I mean,
get it in.
maybe
So I
it was
just write, like,
maybe it
little
was the
messages, like
maybe it was the
reminders.
ghoul blood
Ghoul
from
blood.
when we
you
killed
go.
them down here. Right. So Mother Marguerite, I've been feeling of two minds about this whole situation, and well, I still feel very confident that the things that Minrai, Barnabas, Kelvy, Hennis, and I are doing, like to make sure we're safe and that the clutch is safe. I still feel like there's an almost equal chance that they might not be. It's got me feeling really conflicted, and I guess right now I'm just looking for like a plan B. Like what could plan B possibly be if we Lamier forbid we fail, what's we're doing, and we need to relocate the clutch or something. Like is that even remotely possible?
Rick, I know you are not midwife, but relocating the clutch is not something we can do. It is. She's kind of she squeezes your arm a little bit, gets a little more juice out of you. um, it is impossible. It is not something we can do. It is not only because of the cracks that I said before that we cannot move the clutch. It is because the eggs are fragile. The membranes can burst. There is much danger in exposing the clutch to the air, which is not perfectly kept.
Moisture. It's
Yes,
all the moisture
the
has to be perfect.
the moisture levels outside of the basement is not kept just right for these eggs. It is. We've been trying to redirect new eggs to other places, other basements, other midwives, so that we might start to have fewer here as more hatch. But she's kind of she pulls, she's gonna start patching you up from the donation, but but I don't. The eggs that are here, they cannot be.
So, pardon my non-midwife ignorance, but how do the eggs arrive here? Are they laid here?
Asking a lot of questions about eggs, buddy.
Where do babies come
Where do
from?
babies come
Where
from?
do babies come from? A spider slowly crawls on your eye.
Yeah.
You're being watched.
Marguerite kind of chuckles. No, they are not laid here. The parents, the drow parents, bring the eggs upon having brought them into the world themselves, and they are then deposited here. When they first emerge from the parent, the eggs are much more sturdy. They can withstand more. But as the drow inside grows, the membrane thins, and this is why they must be kept very carefully placed in their webs created by midwife and kept properly moisturized. Very important. Given blood so they can grow into healthy drow. He pats you on the back, like you.
Thanks. You'll have to forgive me. I realize if there had been a possible way of transporting them there, it probably would have already been conceived of, but you've got to forgive a not so young drow for forgetting these things. Well, in light of that, I guess I'm just gonna have to do everything I can, and even then some, to make sure we're successful. Not that I wasn't before, but just worried, you know.
Yes. Well, if they need to kick us out, then there will be a fight, and if there will be a fight, you will have Marguerite at your side.
Right. Does
Marguerite flexes.
and have her has her arm started growing back completely yet?
It's just the two smaller half-grown arms flexing underneath. You have Marguerite here. Nothing to fear.
Yeah, it's her normal arms are just doing their normal work. The regrowing, regenerating little arms are just ha ha ha.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it's canon. It's canon now.
They are starting to regrow, but this has been 2 days maximum since the school
they're
attack.
little stubs.
And so it's not fully it's not fully grown.
Flexing stubs.
And in fact, oh my god, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my dog is throwing a tantrum. It's very distracting.
Bring her into your room, into your lap.
There's
and
not
call
really
her
space down here for her. She doesn't come into this little
that's
nook
true.
very often because there's a lot of space. Anyway, she without the occult energy that has just been pouring out of these cracks, some of those occult abilities that Marguerite was kind of flexing before and showed some of you. I don't remember who was there. Maybe just Barnabas and I the first time around. But some of those more kind of impressive abilities are you deduce would be less likely possible because she did explicitly say to the group, and if you've been sharing all, so that the cracks power where she was using them to power some of her occult ability. Not that she's powerless without them, but that she was more powerful with them.
Um, but speaking of those abilities, am I correct in recalling that she has like the ability to like communicate to the spiders all throughout the spire? Is that something that
Not
is
necessarily throughout all of Spire. You're not really sure the extent that her kind of influence goes. Certainly, you have seen and know of times when she has essentially used spiders as messengers or spies within the building, and even perhaps within buildings adjacent to your own um, on the street. But
okay?
beyond that, you're not sure what, if any, influence she has.
Right. Well, as I like, get my little band-aid on my little pricked spot, um, I
Is it
think,
a like a Hello Kitty Band-Aid?
yeah, I think so.
The Hello
Um,
Spider band aid.
yeah, yeah.
It's got a little bow
It
on each one of the fucking legs coming out.
it says for the clutch on it. Like they're Marguerite branded. Uh, yeah, I think this has like, while not necessarily energized Rick, I think he's a little bit more impassioned and like wants to do something, and like he recognizes still that he has this like power, and he feels like, oh well, if I'm just down here working with the clutch, I've kind of squandered my fight with the 3 stress that I gained in like accessing this. um so I think he has found a new resolve,
Okay.
and I think he wants to head up Spire at this point and see if he can intercept Kelvy, who he thinks is probably most in need of his help.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you start heading out. I'd say we're probably, given that you needed time to kind of like read and what have you. um I think that the meeting that Kelvy is in has probably already started at this point. So
Yeah.
your intent would probably, given how long it takes to get up Spire, would be like the likelihood of when you would meet up with Kelvy would be like after the, which honestly, you're not wrong that Kelvy might need your help at that point. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, I
I just
mean,
want to let you know
yeah,
that like it would be a several hours delayed compared to where we're about to, when we cut to Kelvy, like where he'll be. So
sure. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Okay. So let's pop up to Barnabas and Minrai, who were in
Yo.
I think we were just leaving Minrai's house,
yes,
right?
yes.
I thought we were at the docks.
No, I think we
Yeah,
had to find it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you had left the house and knew that you were heading towards the docks. I don't think I have like a place to put you. I didn't map for this, unfortunately.
Okay.
Um, got it. So we'll just I don't know.
Put us on the map. Put us on the middle map.
The middle map? What middle map?
The map of Spire.
I don't
The
have
map?
like a full map like this.
I don't know. It hasn't changed yet. I just see much
Oh,
too
Sure
moist.
I
hasn't.
totally forgot to drag and drop your little player thing.
How dare
Duh,
you?
duh. Wait a minute here. Hang on.
Hey, that works fine. Yeah, that one.
No,
Spire.
Margaret's, yeah, that's what I thought you were looking at the stream. This will be where we
I
go.
just swapped over to the
Okay.
stream. Yeah.
So, you're like in the middle of Spire.
Yeah.
And you are looking for, essentially, like, there are creatures that serve as buses. Again, like, you either need to have connections, like to a church or something, or money to be able to take these sky whale kind of buses.
Right, and the Minrai's friend, they told us where to find the.
Yes.
Okay, so are we walking over there, or are we?
Yeah.
Are there?
Yeah, you're on your way if there's anything you want to
Okay.
do or say on your way there, but other than that.
No, I will definitely have like Sweet Pea right next to me and just like head on a swivel looking around. And I'm just like super tense and walking.
I remember I
forward.
did tell you it's only as weird as you make it. So you just gotta like chill out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna chill out.
Do you
I
like my
hate being
little
in
whales?
Spire. Your
Oh wait,
whale?
those are little sky whales. Look.
Those are little sky whales.
What are you talking about?
It's
Ava
on the
drew them.
map.
Why do I not see it?
Because it's like
It's right here. Do you see the red pings?
Oh, I have to really far zoom in. Oh, they're beautiful.
How zoomed out are you?
I usually zoom out far enough where I can see everything.
but I mean like that's how
Okay.
zoomed out I am, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's also on a television that's like
fair.
10, 15 feet away from me, and it's small because I have the Twitch
Okay.
chat and you guys
You're
and
right.
okay, it's
You're
fine.
right.
I'm
So,
sorry.
you should not be.
Um,
So anything you want to talk about on your way there?
Yeah, I'll kind of notice that Barnabas is kind of stressed out, and I'll be like, so tell me about like where we're going. Have you been there before? Like just trying to fill the void with conversation to kind of like make Barnabas talk and feel less nervous.
Yeah. Well, and it's still kind of like looking around and very rigid, but be like, yeah, I've been there before. It's my church.
Yeah.
It's where I go to be near to my God and
Sounds
all that.
fun. Am I
Mhm.
gonna
So
be welcome there if I'm with you? Am I safe?
more
Good.
welcome than I feel here.
Well, I mean, nobody's done anything to you. I mean, you got a hug. You've been treated nicely. Nobody here's look, we're closer to the bottom of Spire than the top. So you should
There.
feel a
Yeah,
little
do I
more
see mostly
comfy.
drow here?
Mostly drow.
Or
There. So
okay.
this is kind of a half and half type scenario. Like very down and out high elves. There would be a few around, but this particular neighborhood is mostly drow. And it's kind of interesting. Some of the high elves who are here actually are unmasked, which there are very few of those in Spire, but certainly none in Amaranth. Um,
Mhm.
But I wouldn't know that.
that there
Or
are
maybe just I mean, I don't know. I guess I just feel like Barnabas never really took the time to like give a fuck about any of the goings on in Spire.
yeah.
I don't know if that's feasible, but like just
no, I mean, yeah,
I feel
think
like
a
very
lot
much I
of
spent my time at the bottom or at the top and I
Yeah.
like avoided the middle at all
Yes.
costs.
I think that this would be very new to you. I think that there are a few pretty notable cases of high elves who live down Spire. Maybe only like one or two that you would know of, but you would know for certain of one who will actually probably be meeting this session. Who lives in Derelictus with no mask, and so that but it's very very unusual. And I would say the first time that you pass a high elf not wearing a mask on the streets kind of near Minrai's house, like halfway to the docks, it's certainly something that would like you would be like staring at, right? Because it is so unusual.
Okay. I feel like I would be staring at it, but I would also be like
I like nudge
shying away from it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
I'll look. So we're heading towards like a dock area, right? Would there be like food vendors along the way? Can I get like something for Barnabas to like snack on? Barnabas and Sweet Pea.
Yeah,
Drow on
especially
a
like
stick.
as you get to the docks, there's lots of food vendors just kind of
Yeah.
lining the street.
I'm gonna live through Minrai right now and be like, describe them in detail, please, and all the food. It's so good.
Oh,
Did
geez.
fried, delicious.
Now
Yeah.
is not a good time to make at least describe
No.
food.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm sorry. Never mind.
I can describe.
I grabbed something on a stick and to pay. Do I need to
Oh,
take?
I was
silver
gonna
dressing?
gonna
Very
describe
little.
in Greece. There's these things that they sell at the docks called koulouria, and they're little round, like almost like sesame pretzel-y things. They're very good. We'll say those can be on sticks, and that's what you can buy.
Okay, how do you spell that?
Oh, I don't know. Spell it. Kappa,
However it makes you happy.
Omicron, Upsilon, like you know.
Kappa.
Koulouria, maybe Koulouria. I think that's it. Anyway, Yeah.
Kulurakia?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Kulurakia. I found it.
found
Greek
it?
pretzels
There you
or
go.
cookie. They're called cookie.
Oh, Matt
they're not-
spelled out pretzel for us in the chat. Thanks, Matt.
Very
That was very helpful.
Yes. So yes,
Pretzel.
you can grab a few Greek pretzels. That's what I always think of as dock food. Lauren and I got those when we were waiting for a ferry in Greece at one point.
Well, cool. Yeah, I bring one over. I get 3, one for me, one for Sweet Pea, and one for Barnabas.
D-
Do I
I
take
hold
over stress?
Oh,
No, I think this falls under living expenses. It's pretty.
I hold one out to Sweet Pea, and I'm like, here.
hyenas, I don't really know about
They
what
love
their
bread. Bread's fine.
diet to the. Okay, sure, yeah.
Bread's
Sweet
cool.
pea, Sweet pea definitely eats it out of your hand and then licks your hand clean.
I kind of.
Barnabas does the same.
No, I'm not feeding it to you, Barnabas.
It
You
wasn't
take
totally hand feeding you this.
Yeah. You are not as cute as Sweet Pea. You cannot eat out of my hand, Barnabas. I am sorry.
All right, I'll take it to eat it, but I'll look
Yeah.
even more sad. Okay, so now that I've taken sky whales before, right?
Yes.
From Derelictus or
Yes.
from okay.
From Derelictus.
So now that I'm here at the docks and I see this kind of stuff, do I get a sense a little bit more of maybe where I need to go and who I need to talk to? Like, is there some familiarity in from dock to dock, or
Yeah.
am I still like totally lost, or could it be like I can kind of figure out?
Derelictus's docks are very different than these ones because, and this is actually probably a brand new experience for Barnabas, these docks are literally on the side of Spire. So you are like vertigo extreme, like standing, seeing just Spire stretch out above and below you in a way that like you've seen it from like riding the sky whales up, but you've seldom like stood in the middle of Spire on the side of Spire, right? You've either been at the top or the bottom, as you've kind of said. The docks in Derelictus are actually kind of indoors because remember Derelictus is in the ground of Spire. So the sky whales actually have to come into the ground and dock in the ground. And not many sky whales go to Derelictus.
Could I look around or figure out and see if there are any other like priests of Charnel or anything like that I could speak with? Or
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they probably don't hang around as much, but
well, I mean, you can kind of like you look around. You actually see. Sure, I'm about to say right thing. I think you do see something of interest. And you see a couple morticians, and the morticians are like the much more.
They're like the chefs of the for the priests of Charnel. They get them dressed up all nicely.
Well,
Sorry.
the morticians, yeah, they are the. So Charnel is kind of like a new phenomenon in Spire. It's like last 50 to 100 years that people have really like that the priests of Charnel
started eating flesh and
have become a thing, and like the hyenas. This is actually so Charnel is a god that drow in like other parts of the world that Spire is in worship. And only recently have packs of Charnel's hyenas been introduced to Spire. And priests of Charnel kind of trained in Spire like you.
Gotcha.
And so when bodies are disposed normally in Spire, morticians are typically the ones who deal with it. The morticians are not happy about Charnel's worshippers having encroached upon their territory because there was essentially a new heaven, like a turf war between morticians and
cool, great,
and Carrion priests. And now there's kind of a standoffish piece of sorts where like there's that side of New Heaven is where the morticians go, and that side of New Heaven is where Charnel's worshippers go, and hopefully like nobody restarts the battle and we can just continue disposing of the dead in relative peace.
do I recognize the morticians that I see, or I just recognize that they are morticians?
You recognize that they are morticians based on the fact that they are wearing these long white robes and have these kind of blank mask type things. They're not masks like high elves wear. These are drow. But it's more of like to use a very weird metaphor. You know those like Halloween costumes you had as a kid that would like blank your face out, like the this with like it's kind of like that. It's like a screen almost in front of their faces.
Okay.
Also of white coloring.
Okay.
And they see
do I
you,
s-
and
oh.
they kind of like you see them kind of turn their heads towards you, and then like turn back towards each other.
A bunch of mean girls. Okay. Do they seem like they're could I tell if they seem like they're waiting to go up, or?
They are definitely waiting for a sky whale. And if you kind of context clues put together, like there are also signs around, and like this one, like it's not. It seems like the New Heaven sky whales are some of the least kind of common ones to come and go. And so like the sign is kind of like buried under a series of other like signs. This seems to be the dock of like less frequent sky whales. And yes,
Okay.
there is kind of like an NH, like New Heaven will dock here as well.
Okay. Can I look around to? I feel like I'm going to put them on the back burner right now. And can I look around to see if there's anybody official looking that looks like they would like? Do I know, like in Derelictus, do I buy a ticket? Can I just get up there? Is it like sorry if this is.
No, that's okay. So in Derelictus, there's a schedule. The sky whales who arrive, like it's basically subsidized by the church. So any priest of Charnel can use those sky whales without having to pay because like they essentially own or pay for it already, like the Charnel and does and the church
Okay.
does.
So I would know that I don't have to pay or anything, and I'm
Yeah.
fairly obvious Sicarian priest.
Right.
Do I see anybody official standing around that looks like I could ask maybe when the next one is coming?
There's kiosks for buying tickets. There's
Cool.
There's a few security workers, things like that.
I'll go up to a kiosk.
Okay, yeah.
I will make sure that I am right there with you.
I will go up to a kiosk and yeah. And
yeah, there's a youngish drow girl sitting inside the kiosk behind a desk. You have to wait in line. Like two people in front of you are getting their tickets to other places.
I stand there and cross my arms and tap my foot like a real Karen. No, I'm just kidding.
And when they kind of move along, you step forward and she's just kind of like writing in a book and she's like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
And I'll
2
definitely
tickets.
stick out my hand and say, "I'm Barnabas."
Oh,
I will chime in. Hello, we would like 2 tickets, and I'll like slowly pull back Barnabas's hand, and I'll be like, "We do not do that here." Hello, we would like 2 tickets going up to New Haven, please.
Tickets to New Heaven.
And
she
whale.
She kind of squints at Barnabas, and she's like, usually there's just some paperwork that and this is familiar to you, like it's not really a thing in Derelictus because again, not many sky whales, but like you've seen other she's like, just some paperwork, and you're like, yeah, the paperwork, right? Like it's familiar enough that you're like,
I got this.
Okay. And so she flips to the back of her book and turns around and slides it over to you and hands you the pen. There's just a place like that you're essentially filling out and like sending more or less like signing a waiver that says like, yes, I will have the priest of Charnel, right? Like accept this bill kind of thing. Like you're calling collect, right?
Okay.
And
do I know do I feel confident in my priestiness that I could also have them cover Minrise fare up, or is it just a?
You've never tried before, but there's
Barnabas
just a spot
says,
for
"Fuck
you.
it."
Yeah, yeah. To say how many people are going, so
2.
All right. She looks at that and
Charnel got this.
Yeah, she looks at Minrai and she just kind of shrugs and
I eat people too.
Aren't you a midwife?
Aren't we all?
No. Okay.
Barnabas
anyway,
just says, "I thought you said you had this, Minrai."
She takes it back. She signs something. She tears something out of the book and hands it to you, which you recognize as like vouchers that you are, or like receipts that you should be turning in. You've seen other priests do this. Again, it's not really necessary in Derelictus, but you've seen other priests kind of do this, and you're like, "Hey, the receipts," you know. And then she's like, "Yeah, you can wait down at Dock 7," and she points to essentially where the morticians are waiting. And it should be here in about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Great.
that is nice. I will go get us another pretzel, perhaps.
Thank you, Ms. And I try to be annoying and get her name, just because this is.
She has no name. Let us go. And I walk away.
I apologize for my companion. She's a bit.
Yes, she's the odd one.
And
Sorry.
I run back
know.
and I
Sometimes
say,
it's hard to admit, but you know.
Barnabas, come on. There are other people in line.
Okay, yeah, so I'll leave. I'll give her a wink and a wave. And how so as if Barnabas is too friendly to people that aren't like high elves that freak him out and stuff, and always wants to introduce himself, but how I don't know enough about the morticians to know if I would just like, would I go up and try and start a conversation, or is it like no, you stay away from these people because it's just it's too shaky?
I think Barnabas remembers the bad times with the morticians. Barnabas
Do I
is
know
old
about
enough.
the morticians too?
You would definitely know about the morticians. Yes, they are a common. They are kind of. They are one of the most accepted by the high elf, by the high elves, like drow sects. They have a lot of power as a drow kind of institution because the dead have to be taken care of, and there is no natural way to take care of the dead in Spire. And
eat them. Yeah.
you eat them. Yes, I was classifying cannibalism as unnatural, but
Well, that's on you, honestly.
honestly, you're not wrong.
Honestly, Elise.
So there's the high elves. Oh, bug. Sorry.
Don't talk to Kelby like that.
There's the morticians, and they come and they collect the bodies and they take them up to New Heaven to be like entombed, or burned.
How boring! Like
there's
waste away in tombs. They may as well bring sustenance.
There's a lot of black market trade of bodies to the gardens where they are hung corpses. Mushrooms. Yes, to grow corpse fruit.
Corpse fruit. Sorry. No
and
mushrooms.
Then there's Charnel's worshippers who believe that feeding people and hyenas and crows and other carrion eaters via the bodies of dead drow is a form of worship.
I kind of point over while I bring another pretzel over, and I'm like, looks like your competition is here too. And I hand you both pretzels this time, and I'm like, you can feed Sweet Pea.
And I'll say, I don't associate with hoarders.
Like me or them?
No, like them. They hoard bodies.
Them. Yes, of course.
What's the point of just keeping a body? Like, what good does that do anyone? And I start to go off on a rant. Like, what good does it do anyone to just leave a body in a tomb when you could be feeding Sweet Pea, and then you could, and I'm just gonna old man rant for a while and not realize that you're not paying attention at all.
Yeah. The morticians, like kind of hear you do this rant a little bit and like move a little further down the dock to wait.
Oops. Barnabas starts another war.
Yeah. We're waiting for like 30 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool beans.
Yeah. So I think I would just rant about that, and then,
I would be like, see, this place is not so bad though. We are pretty close to bottom of Spire. Perhaps you expand border of exceptional territory.
It's I will admit that there's not so many of the
Terrible people.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure your family seemed very nice.
They're
So
all-
welcoming to me.
They're my family.
I love that Andrew
Yes,
has
that
just
is
been
true.
sinking lower and lower in his chair.
I know.
They are.
I literally just commented in chat, whatever posture you're doing has to be bad for your back.
Andrew's taken actual drugs, not just tennis. So
Right. Anything else you want to accomplish before the Sky Whale comes?
nope.
Starting a war, real cash.
Yeah,
You know how it
can't
is when
think of
old
anything
men
now.
like talk way too loudly about like inappropriate things and don't always realize like
Mhm.
yeah.
Are there
Doing that.
like a lot of shops, like
There are
random
some, yeah.
shops?
There's
So-
shops and souvenir things and
I'll kind of be like on the lookout for any place that sells occult items on
Okay.
the off chance that I could get like a lead on the rare occult item that we need from
you-
like a rare. I just need names of like rare collectors, not necessarily. I don't expect them to like find them here.
yeah. Yeah, here I mean like on the docks, like if there are occult sellers, like you're looking at it and it's a lot of like
Trinkets and
tourist
like garbage.
traps.
Okay,
And
yeah.
yes, it's not going to be what you're looking for. Yeah.
Okay. I buy like the cheesiest, shittiest thing possible, but
Okay.
like if it has like I look for like something like a body or like a ritual body or so, like a small thing, right? Like a little body, and or like a fork
Like a
in the
doll?
shape. No, like a fork in the shape of like an arm or like something like
At
dismembered.
the
body.
docks?
Yeah, in the trinket shops.
What
Like
are
the
you
tourist like okay, you know how they have like they sell random crap at like
Yeah.
tourist trap places. Okay, well I look for like a shitty small thing for Barnabas to remember this area by that I think Barnabas
Okay.
would like.
Aw,
Like
that's
a
very
fork
cute.
that's like in the shape of like an arm or like has a skull thing on top or like
Right. No,
like
I'm
like
here
an
for it.
eye scooping spoon that has like a
Like
hand.
it's like a cantaloupe spoon or like
Yeah.
or like a little
it's a-
melon baller or like the grapefruit spoon with the serrated edges and you just stick
Yeah,
it
but
right
it's
into
like
the
a little-
socket and like
but it's like a little hand. So it's
Yeah.
like it's
Sure.
like a hand.
so it's
Yeah.
just like scooping the eyes. Oh, and you
yeah,
can have it
and
like
I
a
bring
delicacy.
it to you, and I am like, "This is for you, Bonnie, to remember my home by, and a nice little eye scooper for your delicious eyes." That
See,
you
see,
eat.
this is why in like my regular day-to-day conversation, like I get all these weird glances when I just start casually talking about, oh, well, this would be really good for like scooping eyeballs out and like severing
Cash?
tongues. You know, it's like
Just-
I wouldn't.
Why severed tongue?
Okay.
Why are
Because
you
how else would I eat
Okay.
the tongue? Am I gonna like French kiss a corpse and bite the tongue out of their mouth? No, I
Yeah.
need to cut it out and
Okay.
get that good muscly meat.
All right. Well, I give you the eye scooper, and I'm like, "This is for you to remember your journey here. I know it is outside of your comfort zone, but I am glad that my family got to meet my best friend."
Barnabas takes it and literally just like tears start
Cat.
streaming down his face. Oh hey cat.
Steal it. No.
Sorry.
But it's because Barnabas has allergies to this part of
Right,
Spire.
exactly. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
and he just says, thanks, Minnie.
You are welcome, old man. I give Sweet Pea some pats, and I'm like, "I am sorry, I cannot find you, little chutoy."
Just get some drow rawhide.
Yeah.
All right. Let's cut
beautiful.
to Kelvy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right. So we are heading back down to the gardens compared to where you are right now.
Panic.
Let's see here. What do you want to you and Marilee are sitting in the room with Neza's body. And Marilee has said like, oh, like at the end of the last scene essentially been like, oh, we've got about 10 minutes to plan out what we want to do. So, and that's where we left off.
Uh, okay.
Ooh.
Well, first I want to. Uh, I got you something, and then I reach into my bag and I give her the Spire's Best Boss mug.
She takes it and looks at it with so much confusion and is like, thank you. And
I
sets
wish I was gonna give it to you,
before.
before we and it's bad timing. I understand, but like I just wanted to say,
Interesting.
I'm happy to be part of the team.
Mhm.
um, and oh, so y- how many Elfir do you know?
Oh, well, obviously Lord Faisal,
Right.
a few other not many, not many. It is only recently that leadership, if you will, has decided that branching into finding investors from Amaranth um might be the way to go in terms of for pushing forward our research into the bread.
Sure, sure. Well, I was just asking because I met this elf here from up north, named Oren Wades in Moonlight, and so I've known him for a bit. Um,
Really, it's interesting a drow from Derelictus would make friends with a high elf from the north.
he's a real weird guy.
Must be.
Yeah. Um, so I have this thing with him where he really enjoys my writing, and really enjoys the occult. And he knows, there's something weird going on with me. I've never, told him what that is. But he's willing to, give me information every now and again on people in his circles. So I just wanted to let you know, and then I'm gonna look at Neza. I'm gonna like gag a little bit, and just look at myself. Um, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that he talked with him last night, and he was very pissed at the end of it. I didn't have
He
enough money to figure out why.
Orin wades in moonlight. Your friend,
Yes,
the drow, the Ampher from up north,
yes,
talked to Lord Faisal last night and told you
yes.
about it this morning.
No, no, last night.
Oh, okay. And what?
Um, he's very he's on the downswing of a mood swing.
Ah,
Very
interesting.
pissed. I don't know at who or what. I just wanted you to have a heads up in case
It is useful
there's any.
information with this man.
Yeah. Uh, not no. If you'll excuse me, would you mind if I took a walk until that's cleaned up?
Walk through. Would you like a tour of the Herald Corporation or?
Oh no, I'm fine. If I could just wait in the lobby or something.
Well, we've only got about 5 minutes, but I suppose if you would be more comfortable in the lobby. She's just very confused by you at this moment.
Thank you. And I leave
Okay.
with like as little grace as possible. Um, I'm gonna wait in the lobby until Faisal gets there,
Okay.
unless he's already there.
Um, as you're walking to the lobby, um, you see like a group of people coming in through through the same hallway that you were led down to get to Marilee's office. And it is Faisal with his kind of decorative mask as well as his true mask on his shoulder, like he was wearing it yesterday. And he has some servants and attending him. All of the drow in who are from the Herald Corporation are now wearing masks. They were not when, but you are not. And you see this group kind of approaching you, and it's presumably you kind of recognize the clothes. The receptionist who greeted you and asked you to wait for Marilee when you arrived with Neza earlier. In the front of that group, wearing a mask now, and a couple other people with the same Herald Corporation kind of generic, just everybody grabs one, wears it, masks when Aelfra are in the building.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna rush right up. Lord Faisal, it's such an honor. My name is Kelvin Talena.
I'm so sorry. My roommate just approached me with a checkbox of if I want milkshakes. So I was like trying to.
Milkshakes.
What does the top one say? Oh,
That's
oh
not
my
even
God.
an option.
Rachel
Nicole.
says that's not an option. Nicole.
Rachel, please know that I added it last.
Okay, good.
That's why I
Good to
couldn't
know.
read it because it's like up at the top and like squished in. I'm like, what? We're gonna go ahead and just. I mean, who knows if I'll.
I literally got up to go
My
to my
stomach is
freezer
so
and pick
upset.
up the milkshake that I got from Five Guys today. So
Oh, like a small one.
that was perfect timing.
Sorry. I know you didn't. I know. I could. It's just like my focus was so split at that moment. I was like, there's milkshakes happening. Okay, I'm so sorry, y'all. um, bless. So, Kelvy, Tyler, I'm sorry. Could you please repeat
You're good.
the question?
Milkshake.
Yeah, I had just rushed up to them and Lord Faisal, my name is Kelvin Talena. Wow,
You are intercepted, like physically prevented from
that is
rushing
fine.
up by not only the receptionist from the Herald Corporation, but also a couple of Faisal's attendants wearing Faisal
Sure.
masks. And the Herald Corporation guy is like, "What are you doing? Where is your mask?" And like starts fumbling around like in his robes and pockets to see if he can like procure another one for you.
No one
And
gave me a mask. I didn't know.
oh god, and just like snaps his fingers at one of the other Herald Corporation guys and like gestures really fast, and that person is like and they take off their mask and then just like hide their face and hand you the mask, and you can now wear one of these Herald Corporation masks if you
Great, love that.
want. Okay. Yeah, so you adopt it.
Yes.
And the guy the receptionist guy kind of bows to Faisal and is like, "My lord, I am so sorry. Please allow me to introduce Kelvy Talena, who has recently taken over the project out of Harmonious Properties from our previous project manager, Neza Day, who I believe you met the first time." And Faisal's like, "Oh, yes, I do remember Neza. Where are they these days? What happened? You took over, Mr. Was it Calvi Talena? Now that's interesting because I do believe I've read some of your work.
You have. Did Orin give you my
yes,
pieces?
Mr. Wades in Moonlight did in fact visit and bring by a few of your pieces. Very interesting fellow. You remind me so much of him.
How so?
Your voice seems quite similar.
Oh yeah.
I suppose.
This was a couple weeks back. He helped me get a sliver implant. So that yeah, it was like a gift or something. I did not sound like this.
Interesting.
I love the just how so response.
Deceive. You can roll deceive.
Sure.
And what domain are we in? I feel like this is kind of commerce because this is a business meeting. I think high society is also acceptable, given.
Right. I'm still rolling 2d10. Does my temporary bond with him give me anything there?
When did your temporary bond get established?
That was established when we went, like the day we went to his house. Would that have
As
Last
Orin wades in moonlight?
Yes. No, it was Kelvy's bond because he wrote the article. So it was established that day.
Yes.
Do they run out?
Temporary bonds do only last a short period. And I'm trying to remember. I think that. Trying to remember. Let me look up.
Even if it's just 12 hours, that still might work.
It really depends on what is. I mean, okay, bonds. Where is? This is so hard. It's like, ugh. Does the ability itself that you were used to get the bond say anything about it being?
Yeah, let me check.
I don't remember exactly.
Alrighty, so this is from Trust Me. Yeah, it just says that when. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's the wrong one. Everyone's best friend. Yeah, it just says you gain them as a temporary bond.
Okay. Let me see if there's like a section. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Ah! Hi, thank you. Got snuck up upon. Okay. Sneaked up? Okay.
Snuck up on.
Sneaked up on? Snuck up on?
There you go.
Performing a favor. Doesn't really say anything. Okay. Let's go ahead and just treat this as like it will last through kind of the encounter of the day. And we will roll for fallout on it if it takes stress
Sure.
today. So okay. Carry on. So you have the bond with him, which means that he's more likely to kind of do what you want. So this would be like if you were asking him to do something you wanted him to do. That
So it just wouldn't apply in this situation.
I don't think it would apply in this situation.
Yeah,
it might
right.
decrease how much stress you take or something from Fallout or whatever. But yeah.
Got it. So deceive, and you said it was high society?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's just 2d10 then. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Okay, so the 8 I think means that you don't take any stress, right? Success, no stress. So you have successfully lied to him. He believes then that you have this sliver implant. For those who don't know from the book, body modification is very common in Spire. Some of it non-consensual. Sometimes high elves force body modifications on drow. But they also, high elves also like mod their own bodies. And some of it's occult, some of it's just kind of aesthetic. And this would be kind of an implant that makes Calvi's voice sound different, is kind of what he's sold to. So if anybody was kind of like, what's happening? That's what happened. All right. Okay. Oh, well, a very interesting choice to mimic the voice of one's Ilfer patron, but I suppose no higher compliment could be paid than to want to mimic the man who helps provide you money, information. What does?
I'm basically I go and I write him what he wants to hear, or like he loves he loves reading, and I love writing. So he says it's a gift every time I speak. So that's just warms my heart. So I, hmm, Lord Faisal, he did. Do you think we could have a moment alone? That there's some information that I think that it might be sensitive information. I should say.
Immediately, his attendants and the other Herald Corporation employees start to kind of protest this. You can roll compel. Well, this is kind of a you've asked a favor, right? And you have a bond. So what I'll say is instead of rolling compel, you can place the stress of this roll, what the like essentially onto the bond. And then he'll just do it, right? You don't have to roll, but the bond takes stress. Um,
Sure.
so
Question before. So if I'm planning on asking him for a larger favor, is it better to roll in this situation?
you can continuously ask favors of your bonds. The
Okay,
problem is you're stacking stress onto that bond the more that
got
you
it.
do it. Um, and there once the bond suffers fallout, they're less likely or won't do the things that you ask them anymore. And of course, there are asks that are too big, right? You can ask a favor that is something that just goes against their nature or whatever that they
Sure.
just won't do. Um,
Mhm.
but because he kind of feels positively towards you, he kind of gestures broadly in this like very like magnanimous, like, oh no, don't worry, my people kind of way. um oh, don't be so dramatic. Surely. And he turns to the Herald Corporation receptionist, who's kind of been guiding him. Surely there's a conference room where my associate's friend and I could sit down and talk for a moment. Um, Everyone can wait just outside. I'm sure Mr. Telena means me no harm. And the Herald Corporation guy is kind of hands tied. That's what Lord Faisal wants. That's what Lord Faisal wants. So he gets another bow, and you are led into a sitting room or a meeting room, where it's just the two of you. And I'm gonna roll D3 stress for the bond.
Sure.
Um, which is just a one. So the bond
Great.
takes one stress. Okay. And what is it I can do for you today, Mr. Tolena?
Um, would you like to sit? I can stand. You can sit. We can
He's
both.
already sat, actually. Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't say
great.
that. He sat
Um,
himself down.
may I
Already.
sit?
I suppose it is a casual meeting after all.
Cool. So I sit.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just so wow, I'm so glad I get to finally like just sit. Uh, well, I would actually like to do a follow up piece to the one I wrote before. Um, but we can get to that in a second. I have something that you'll probably want to take a look at, and I pull out the article that I wrote last night, and I'm just gonna slide it over to him. And
Did you tell us what you wrote, or I don't remember if you did. Did you keep it
I
a
did
secret?
not. I didn't.
Okay.
Now this article has your name attached to it, right?
It does.
Okay.
So as he's reading, I am going to just be almost like, well, I'll starting to stand, and I need you to do something for me. That's going to be in the best of our both of our interests. You're going to need to shut the project down, and yeah, you wanna help him undo. You fucking leave him be. You owe him that.
and you keep this going, and I'll see that this gets distributed, and we'll see how far your reputation falls. And you wanna get rid of me? Cool. I end up dead. I have friends that can distribute it when I'm gone. So I want you to shut down. I want you to shut down this project. I want Marilee Erston dealt with, and I can replace her. Do the right thing for once in your life.
We're all gonna die.
Let's take a break on that little
Oh my
speech.
god!
We can all be in tense uncertainty for your 10-minute break to see how Faisal will react to this proclamation. So yes, 10 minutes. We'll be back at 8:25. Try and wrap up between 9 to 9:15, so there won't be too much to do when we get back, or time wise, because we're taking a late break. But 8:25, see you right back here to see how Faisal's going to react, and we will carry on from there. Oh, good move, big moves.
Russian roulette.
Big moves are happening. All right, I'm gonna
Ooh,
put it on
Did
the
not
thing.
see that.
That was a real big move.
All right, say bye. I'm turning it off. There we go.
Do it live.
Okay, I think we're live.
Do you
Confidence.
remember the long hallway to the water fountain?
Yes.
That scared me as a kid.
I worked there. I definitely
know.
remember that hallway. Okay. Hi everybody. We're back. How angry will people be if we go back to Hennis?
But it's suspense.
The suspense.
I'll be angry.
Let's end the
Hennis is in
session
my
without
clothes right now.
resolving
Without
this.
resolving what Faisal does.
Well, you
Um,
need time to think as a DM. I
Well,
think it's
okay, so here's
just
what I'm
leave it
thinking in terms of
forever.
like
Oh God.
oh who's got
No,
Who has
echo?
stream open?
Nobody.
Great. We're doing good. So I would love to get Hennis going to civilization and Kelvy getting a response from Faisal in before we cut tonight, which I think might be all we have time to do realistically after break. I would love
You
to
don't want to have a really fun sequence of us riding the
riding
sky
the sky
whale?
whale. But I think that in terms of
The
like,
breeze blowing through Sweet Pea's fur.
yes, and you've done it now. That's it. That was the sky whale ride. In terms of kind of like narrative flow, I think it would make more sense if we do Hennis and then end on Kelvy's meeting with Faisal. If everybody is chill for that. So like, yeah,
Chill.
let's.
So
Andrew's
chill.
like, if I have to. Okay, so let's leave you all in suspense a little longer with that power play by Kelvy, and cut back down to Derelictus, where Hennis is leaving the Gutterkin guide and presumably making your way to civilization.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I actually have a map for civilization. Made it a long time ago. I don't know.
And then we never visited your fantasy bar.
My fantasy bar that I wanted you to go to. No, I just in case, because there was like a thing where like the gangs and the guards were going to like be at civilization. You remember? And you guys were just like,
Yeah.
meh.
Poison them with laxatives, and then we killed one by making
it's
them
all
shit
fucked up,
themselves
isn't
to
it?
death.
Oh well, whatever. I can just
remember.
turn off
This
the things.
music
But
is popping, by the way.
thanks.
I'm here for it.
There's credit
Feel like
that
I'm
I
at the
should
Ren
give
Fair.
to the people who made it. You remember, Sam?
This is like RuneScape music. Holy shit.
Oh,
That's what it
I don't
reminds
have
me
Roll
of.
20 audio on, but if you're talking about Incompetech,
Compotech, I think
Yeah.
it might be.
Tabletop audio.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I can also
Tabletop
just
Audio,
check.
okay.
Yeah, it's Tavern Music by Tabletop Audio. Thank
Yeah,
you
okay.
for all of your beautiful music that you let us use for free. Okay, so here is this. It's a pretty giant ass bar. You've probably been here a few times, but again, it is kind of like the place that people go. And additionally, it's trying to think how to say it. Insofar as Derelictus has tourism, which it doesn't, but sometimes like high elves are like, oh, we're going to go see how the poor people live. This is probably a place that they stop in when they do that. One of the main draws being the bartender and owner of civilization. There's a giant Hennis coming to wreck
That makes
shit.
myself smaller. Can you do it?
Yeah. Godzilla Hennis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ooh, play through the pain, kids. That the owner of this bar is one of the unmasked Aelfir who lives in Derelictus, elects to live down here. And that is perhaps one of the reasons why this is such a popular place to go, because it is a bit of a place to ogle or be like, what the fuck? Who chooses this, right? But the owner, you would know or probably have heard talk before, if not talked to directly, because he is again, unmasked Elfir, and he loves to just talk. He's a talker. He's a storyteller, and that's another thing. Big draw of civilization is people love to crowd around the bower and just like listen to this old Elfir man just go off about whatever topic he's going off about. Typically, people don't talk to him. His name is Lith. People don't
Can you spell
typically
that?
Lith.
Thank you.
People don't typically talk to Lith so much as go to listen to Lith. But you can certainly talk to other bartenders and servers in the area, and they will, you know, they're this is kind of the best shindig that there is in Derelictus. So insofar as there's like good service or like friendly servers, this is where you go to find them. So like it's known for that as well, and it's a little more expensive than your typical bar, but people here like it, and tourists such that there are to Derelictus love it. So
So when I get there, do I see Gray and any bar or table?
yeah, you kind of have to go in a little ways. He's actually all the way over here in the main bar area. So these two kind of main areas are like seating for if you're having a meal. This is much more of kind of like the tavern part where like everybody just gathers to have drinks and like less food service happens here. And then the rest is kitchens and servant hallways and things, or server hallways and stuff. So this is yeah, he's back here on this at this table, and you can join him.
So that's like the kitchen area.
Yep,
not
kitchen.
Something. Okay.
Not something you would. Yeah, there's actually like the door. It's one of those like, you know, where they can just kind of shoulder their way through, but there's certainly a threshold that you are not supposed to cross if you are not staff back there.
So I'll go and take a seat at the table that Gray has. So have you been able to find out anything?
Well, I know that he was here actually. What was it? It was 3 nights ago. But he's like very confused now with like counting back days. He's like, okay, he left 2.5 days ago, went here. That's when he was here. So that was 3 nights ago. And then the server said that she saw him here. And that's all I asked.
Just out of curiosity, how many empty glasses are on the table?
Not too many. He's had like 2.
Okay.
He's not like shit-faced. He's definitely a little drunk. But he seems nervous or like worried more than he seems like drunk out of his mind. Also, he's out of his element. This is not tracking people down. He like straight up told you when he first asked for your help. Doesn't know how to do it.
Well, that is helpful, I suppose. We now know that he was here 3 nights ago. Then he went up Spire for half a day, and I was told that he returned from up Spire, but you were saying that he has not returned home at all since then?
No, he went up Spire. I don't even... He's like racking his brain. He's like, what business would he even have up Spire? I mean... Like,
so that is not a normal occurrence.
No. Like many people in Derelictus, he does not spend much of his time outside of Derelictus. And he kind of flags the server down again. If he's been back though, and she kind of comes over and she sees you and she's like, anything to drink, hun?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Did you need something? And Gray is like, the guy that I was asking you about, has he been back here since he was here 3 nights ago? And she's like, I can ask around. I don't think I've had a couple days off, but I can check in the kitchens. And he kind of nods and she disappears again. From the bar, Lith has kind of appeared, and the crowd is kind of growing around him. And you can listen or not. It's whatever you want.
Um, I'm gonna ask a couple more questions first, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, was Harlan in any particular trouble that you know?
All I know is he did seem a little upset. I mean, I like I told you, he's always kind of a mopey dude, and so I wasn't really too worried about him. But now, in context of like he's been up Spire and everything, the only thing I can think of is he said that he talked to some members of the street gang that hangs around near our apartment. It's not that unusual. I mean, there's tons of them, but like he mentioned them like the morning before he disappeared. Said that they were giving him trouble about not having paid dues or something, and that's really all I heard. It's you know how it is. You pay them, and then they don't come and burn down your shop, kind of thing. Like that. He's not a member of the gang. I just don't know if we're current on bribes.
And I don't remember if you said before, but you do not have a large sum of money missing from your own personal revenue?
No, I sent you know, some of the kids that work to move the drugs with some money the other day, but it's because I needed to replenish some stocks, and
Yes, and we are very grateful that you were able to help with that, of course.
yeah, that too. Yes. I was actually thinking of my normal supply chain. But that was helpful too. Because I don't think that he paid money for those drugs, right? Didn't Celavian
Not to us.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
talking about like sending kids, like older kids. He says kids,
Mhm,
but he really
mhm.
means like young adult drow, to kind of move. As you know, he sometimes procures much more expensive and rarer things that you can't typically find in Derelictus, and that would be what he's referring to. So he's like, that money hasn't resurfaced, but it always takes a few days, even weeks, to get that stuff shipped in. So I'm not really worried about it. It's reliable sellers. But I don't think, if you're asking, did Harlan take my stuff? I don't think so.
Mm. I'll take a swig from my own bottle and try and catch the end of Lith's story.
Okay. Yeah, you tune in and you are hearing a story I don't think that you've ever heard before. It is about a woman named Mardra. Mardra. I can put it in the chat so that you can see it if you want. And you're catching kind of the end, and so you're not really sure what the like who Mardra is or was, but you're kind
Mhm.
of catching this like, and at that point, you know, three of her daggers were sent here, and her favorite dagger of that she called Fury is rumored to have, and but basically like that there's these rumors of this woman's daggers that are apparently famous for some reason, and she has two favored ones that you're kind of catching the end of the story of like what happened to these famous weapons, and the two famous daggers are called Fury and Sagacity, like the word sage but made into a noun, sagacity. um I think it's with a hard G, right? And it's basically rumored that now um the the um the cathedral of Limier has one of them, and that the ministry of Lombre, which is the ministry,
Mhm.
right, holds the other. And that these daggers have otherwise disappeared from Spire. And everybody is just kind of like frankly pretty surprised that Lith would be so fearlessly like mentioning the ministry out in the open. But as kind of like a piece of the story, it's much more just kind of like accepted versus like accusing someone of being a minister or something like this. But even so, there's like some gasps and like surprised looks around, and like a few of like the city guard kind of like stand up abruptly and then like sit back down with their drinks, realizing like, okay, it's just old Lith telling his stories, you know.
Hmm. Where is the Cathedral of Limier?
The
What part of
Cathedral
Spire?
of Limier is, I am trying to remember. Let me look it up before I tell you the wrong thing. I think it's actually pretty close to where Minrai's family lives. Um, but I just want to make sure. The fuller I lie to you. And you would have been there because um, um, because the ministry, you know, personally, having been to this place once yourself for your initiation into the ministry, exists in the like catacombs and crypts and tombs beneath the cathedral. Um, so the old cathedral is in Ivory Row, which is where uh, Minrai's family lives.
Okay.
Around this time, the server girl comes back and she has a younger young drow man in tow. And he looks like he's kind of in training. And she nudges him forward and is like, "Well, tell him what you told me." And he kind of, yeah, I know Harlan. He was in um yesterday, kind of at a weird time. You know, we're open all hours, and usually we get most of our business, you know, in like what is essentially the evening, but he was kind of in like early morning, which was my shift. And he was like telling me about, I don't know, something to do with like ghouls and these like
Oh.
gang members and ghouls and gang members. It was it was I thought he was high out of his mind, because it didn't really make any sense, but he, you know, I don't know if he was talking about like that stuff that's going on with like Grist, which Grist is, you know, where King Teeth and like the ghouls from what Barnabas has kind of talked to you about was
Hmm.
happening, is going on. And that's like in Derelictus, is kind of deep in Derelictus, and in the part that like most self-respecting derelictians don't venture to Grist. It is nasty and full of cannibals. Um, yeah, so and he's like, I don't know. I thought he was high. I didn't really put much stock in what he said. I haven't seen him since then, but that was like, yep, yesterday, really early in the morning. So it was kind of like, yeah, yeah, I guess that's when it was. My last shift.
Thank you. That is exactly what we were looking for.
He nods and kind of gets a nod from the server who is originally talking to you, and he scurries back
Hmm.
off into the kitchens to get his next plates or whatever. And she kind of raises her eyebrows at you, and anything else I can help?
No, I think that we will actually be leaving now. Thank you for everything that you've done and the drinks for my friend here.
Yes, yes. Well, have a great day. I hope you find your friend. And she kind of takes off to fill some drinks for the next table.
Great. Let's head out. And I'm just going to use surprise infiltration and insert myself into the situation where Ulrich is
Okay.
with Gray.
Yeah. Where is Ulrich? Let's see. He would
Still
be,
in the basement.
yeah, like leaving Marguerite's basement, maybe. Okay, so you grab Gray and sprint. Well, yeah. So you want to tell everybody what the surprise infiltration does again to
Yeah, I mean, it's
refresh
basically
memories?
that. once per situation, when you are, that's not the right one. Once per situation, insert yourself into a situation. Per session, insert yourself into a situation where you are not currently present, so long as there's some conceivable way you could get there.
Yeah. Yeah, basically kind of
Some
just
conceivable way.
Yeah.
One point me.
kind of sprinting, kind of god weapon warping a little bit because it is something specific to your class, right? And so it's this kind of weird bending of reality that comes from having a god bound into your weapon. That kind of comes with the sprint, and Gray is like, we got here so much faster than I thought was possible. And you you catch Rick as he's leaving the building, heading, I think, towards the
Vermisian.
the Vermisian to find a guide to go up Spire.
Yeah.
Ulrich, what do you know about the ghouls here? Or rather, what would you like to know about the ghouls here?
Well, I know that we've heard that what's the guy's Father Teeth?
King Teeth, yeah.
King, I know that a particular subsect of ghouls are proclaiming King Teeth and like worshipping this person and or person ghoul king, and I don't know, I know that Mama Luke's has been quite concerned about it.
As it is a very good point that you make. Perhaps you could talk to her real quick on her behalf. You see, we are looking for someone who both the ghouls and the street kings might know something about. And I think that if you are um, already thinking of Mama Luke, that would be a perfect person to ask about this. She's connected to both of those groups. You know her very well. It will only take a moment of your time, I'm sure.
Uh, sure, yeah, I guess. I was on my way to the Museum Vault, but why not?
I like that
Great.
Sam stuck in there over Rick, just like, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick, like, or not Rick, Gray, like, pops his head around. You know that he's there, right? This isn't a surprise, but kind of like pops his head around Hennis and is like, you're on your way to where? The vault? Is that even a real place?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, you
And-
must have misheard.
Right. Yeah, it's totally not a real place. And then I just scurry off.
You have such weird friends, Hennis.
You don't have to live with them every day.
How dare you?
All right. We can pop up to Rick heading to see Mama Luke's.
Okay, we have time for this?
I think so. This feels, why is, okay, Roll20 is being very stubborn about not putting. Yeah, I mean, this is all kind of part of Hennis's,
Okay.
yes, and then we will, this will probably
Is
close out.
is Hennis coming with me?
Yes, Hennis and Gray are both following you if Gray will be let into the household.
Yeah, so you do have to check out with the guards and check in with the guards, and in fact, didn't Hennis say that his name was Rick when he left?
Well, but here's the
earlier?
thing. I didn't walk past the guards. I inserted myself into a situation with my
Right,
god
and
knife.
so I was just leaving
The
Marguerite.
basement.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So here's a thought though. The basement is
Yeah, it is caved in.
caved in, and you have to exit it through a different building. So you would be coming back in through the main entrance of the of your apartment building.
Then
So yep, the guards stop you. And they point at they point at Hennis. Rick, right? And they mark something on their sheet.
I would have also already gone past these guards then.
To go to see Mama Luke's, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they look at you and they're like, Ulrich. Right. Well, did you give them your name?
I would have, like, if it's a formal document, I probably would have been like, yeah, Ulrich. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ulrich, okay, back already, got it. And they mark your and then and not a resident. They point at Gray. Oh wait, I remember you. You tried to get in earlier. And Gray's like, "Yeah, I told you I had friends in the building. Um, my friends Rick and Rick." um, and they say
The
they're
Ricks.
yeah, and the guard kind of looks at you, Hennis, and is like vouching for this guy.
Yes, we should not be too long before we are back out. All three of us, perhaps only two, but he will be with us.
Okay. Yep. And they just kind of make a note that you've brought a guest, and he's allowed in. So you head up to Mama Luke's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You she's on the ceiling at this point. She's on the roof, where she frequently is. And I think Ulrich would know her schedule fairly well and just assume that she's not in her apartment right now. She's actually up on the roof.
Roof.
Yeah, so you get up there, and she's sitting there, and you know how she's a tinkerer. She likes to tinker with things, and so she is actively kind of like putting some like stuff together. It doesn't make any sense to you what she's doing. This is not a visibly obvious like contraption that's being built. She's also chattering to somebody that you can't see. She's just sitting there, and she's just, like putting these wires together and like twisting things and stuff, and just, no, I told him that he wasn't gonna, well, you always say that, but, and just kind of going on.
Just curious, on our way up, like up into the the roof, is anything like still boxed up, or like how much of the clutter is still clutter?
Oh, of her stuff on the roof?
No, of like in their apartment.
So their apartment is not, you would have to go into their apartment to see that. So you could like knock and see if Amandu is there if you wanted.
Oh
but,
no,
yeah.
I thought that the access to the roof was
through
also
no, it's
yeah.
through the stairwell, and then their apartment's off to the side. Yeah.
Okay. Mama Luke's.
Oh, Rick, yes, come here. She gives you a big hug. It's been a day. It's been a day. She
It has
pinches your
most
cheek.
absolutely been at least a day.
Like 17 sessions, but a day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let
and
me tell
Tennis,
you.
it's good to see you. It's good to see you. And this one is friend?
Who is he?
Yes, this is a good friend of mine. Gray, this is Mama Lux. She watches over all of the residents here. She's a friend to all. Mama Lux, this is my friend Gray.
Hello, Gray. And she's, have a seat. There's nowhere really to sit. Because it's just clutter and stuff. And if you try to move something to make space, she's, no, don't move that. I need that. And nobody sits because there's not actually space.
I love her.
Mama. So, I know that you're aware that Amandu had a day or two out with us, but how's he doing?
Well, he's all right. He's visiting that boyfriend of his, and just kind of seems a little shaken, but wouldn't tell me did you do something to my boy?
No, with yes, but that's a conversation.
He has a boyfriend, Ulrich.
Right, I'm intimately choice of words, Ulrich. I'm aware of this.
Well, I trust you. I don't think you have any reason to do anything untoward with my son.
Well, I did finance a vacation for him and his boyfriend.
That's so nice. He did mention. He did. Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he'd already gone and done that, but anyway, we come here with I guess a couple questions for you. But first of all, Mama, are you aware of the existence of King Teeth?
King Teeth, that ghoul thing out in Grist, huh?
Yeah. So apparently he's amassed quite a significant following of ghouls, and things and this might be one of if not the sole cause that things are as they are with the ghoul population, acting up and such.
Some of the ghouls did. They, they've mentioned that things in Grist are different now. I haven't, it's not like we have conversations about these things. It's more like sometimes it comes up in passing. But they did mention that in Grist things are just. I guess there's a lot of territory out there that's being lost to the ghouls, where Drow used to be.
Oh my, that's horrifying. Like, what's happening to the drow that live there?
Well, you know what ghouls are, don't you?
I mean, feasibly, some might have been able to fight back. But I mean, if they all got turned into them, that's horrifying.
Turned into or just fodder to feed King Teeth. I don't know.
Right. So apparently, Hennis's friend. Are you still there, Andrew?
He said that he had to step away for a second.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Apparently, his friend Gray might be of some service to kind of figuring out what's going on that end. But I really don't know much
Yeah,
outside of.
Gray kind of would step in. It's just we're looking for someone who might have something to do with King Teeth, the ghouls, the gangs. I mean, I guess if there's territory being lost, maybe the gang has been losing territory. I wonder. I mean, it's something. Go on.
Hmm. Does this feel like it's ringing true to you, Mama Luke's?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose it could. The ghouls out here very willing to keep up with our agreement. They don't take the kids from our area. We don't mess with their business, and it's mutually beneficial. But if King Teeth keeps making things worse out there, then I don't know what could happen. It's if other ghouls get pushed out into other parts of Derelictus, it could spell trouble.
Can Elfier turn into ghouls?
Or is Sam asking Elise, or is Ulrich
This is
asking?
me. This is me asking Elise if I
Um,
would know that.
I don't know that there is any documented case of that. I think what you would assume is the consumption of thinking flesh
Would it?
would corrupt people somewhat equally.
Okay, interesting. Um.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're good.
Well, I mean, I don't have much to add to this conversation
Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
So like it might be something that we need to wait for Andrew to get back.
Okay. Let's go ahead and pop up to Kelvy then. While Andrew is away and
We
see.
have to.
All right. So Kelvy has just presented this article and told Faisal that Faisal will either stop the project or Kelvy will publish and distribute this article.
And Faisal summons a man with a gun because he also.
We can
you
play that
imagine?
game all day.
They just keep pouring through the door till everybody's dead.
It's just like Anyway, never mind. Continue.
Faisal is reading over this article as you're speaking, and he's gone very kind of quiet. This is going to be a compel roll
Sure.
for intimidation, blackmail essentially. It's going to be at difficulty.
That's fair.
It's going to be only at difficulty 1 because of your temporary bond with Faisal, but this is too big of an ask to
Yeah.
happen without
Oh, for sure.
rolling. So
Yeah.
difficulty 1 means I'll subtract 1 from whatever you roll. So
Okay.
you cannot critically succeed.
Sure.
But a 10 would count as a 9, etc. So both a 2 and a 1 will count as critical failures.
Sure.
Would it at all possible be the case that like my burn bridges could come into effect here? I mean, it's basically you have to say whether or not him doing this is on my behalf.
Right.
It's up to you there.
I think that the case can be made that like you in particular, especially because there is an element of what Kelvy has said that is in defense of Amandu or like in righteous anger on Amandu's behalf.
Yeah.
And your particularly strong bond with Amandu, that that this is in a way like on behalf of Rick, like channeling some of that connection that Rick has with Amandu. In which case I think I'll grant it because I am kind and benevolent and some days I feel like giving you
bear in mind, should you choose to take this option, Kelvy, if you fail,
it'll be a double fail. We all die twice.
You suffer stress. You roll twice and pick the higher value of stress.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
But you do gain
mastery.
You do gain mastery for the roll. Yeah.
I'm gonna take the extra die.
Okay,
yeah.
So you get compelled.
Oh my god, we're so
mastery.
screwed.
You get high society if you have it, and your base D10. So you can roll 4d10 on this, and it'll be -1 of your highest roll.
Cool. I'll be rolling 3, and then before I roll, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool if not. One of my refreshes is do something reckless for the sake of a good story. This, or because it hasn't quite ended yet. I could also like it not taking effect until after I maybe.
Can I crash in on like a whale on a space whale? If at
sky
all
whale?
feasible when it goes
Almost
wrong, if at
feasible.
all feasible, I can be there. My sky whale crashes into the meeting.
I'm only at 3 stress, but I wanted to ask in case.
That is reckless.
It is reckless. I think
it is a good story.
I think that this feels like something that needs to be concluded to get the refresh. So
cool. I just wanted
do you
to
get
do
you have 4 dice
first? Yeah, you have to survive.
I think 3 because
three die.
Missing high society, I think, right?
All right, everybody cross your fingers.
Oh my god!
Oh! 9! There's a 9!
-1,
no
8.
But still no
that's
stress,
still
right?
No stress.
Oh fuck
I
me.
have to say that I was very stumped. Like when we went to break, I was like, "God damn, what is gonna happen?" And there's a note in the scenario, which we've gone so far off book for like this original scenario about blackmailing Faisal, and I was like, this is so useful. So anyway, I just really liked that, and I was like, oh, that's really gonna help me make my decision of how this happens, right? Because like I was like, what do I do? And the book was like, listen, got you. When the one time since the very beginning of this campaign that I've actually consulted the scenario for like what happens was this.
My gosh, that was wild.
I cannot believe, even with a -1,
Would you like to tell everybody what's in the article so that everyone's in on the
it's nudie
on the
pics
blackmail?
of Faisal.
Yeah, so it's basically I forget. I think I had asked Amandu for very very specific details of his like museum room. So basically the article is I have an interview with Oren Wades in Moonlight, and he basically talks about, you know, they the two of them go into his museum. The museum is described in detail. And then Faisal begins to tell him about I don't use Amandu's name, but a drow that they were trying to make romantic advances and were rejected again and again and again. So they can't handle this rejection and are now lashing out to the nth degree by destroying their home.
Sorry.
And it's basically like a call to action of, the Elfir are supposed to be the best of the best, and this one belongs in Derelictus. Like, is anybody gonna stop us, save us from this monster? Basically.
Yeah. So, given what you know about his kind of extreme desire to protect his reputation, right? The tarnishing of his reputation with accusations of, um, like romantic rejection, like being rejected by, first of all, trying to romance a drow, second of all, being rejected by said drow, um, plus the kind of like call to action against him, especially with what's going on with Lady Hellion right now, which, you guys don't know what's kind of fallout of that has already happened, but I think it kind of hits the spot in terms of like exactly the note of reputation defense that Faisal is not willing to let go of right now because he's desperately clinging to some of these straws. Um, he folds the paper and tucks it into, well, yeah, he takes it, and he kind of steeples his fingers. Mr. Telena, this is an interesting standstill that we have now reached. When you say that you want the project shut down, why?
Well, this is going to be um, in your benefit. As a journalist, I know how to spin a story. So, your whole reason for tearing this thing down was to build something bigger, help the drow. Um, no one wanted that. What you can do now is we can end this because why I live there. Amandu lives there. You were going to kick out his poor mother, and I don't think you know how crowded Derelictus can be and how awful it is to live on the streets. So what we do now is I write another article for you, and we talk about how you saved the building, and you're a hero.
And what of your employers here at the Herald Corporation?
Well, you asked about Neza. Neza was a fast friend of mine, and you asked where they were, and well, I watched Marilee Erston blow their brains out right when I came in today. So I want her dealt with. I think this place could use new management. Um, why? Yeah, it's fucking personal.
And let's say I do this, I take care of Marilee and cancel the project in Derelictus. This article never sees light of day.
Of course.
And your source, Mr. Moonlight.
My source, yeah.
Here's what I want. I want you to know that I can be very patient, Mr. Telena. It is the building, the project. I let this go, and you don't publish that article. Maybe we have a future that doesn't involve a small brigade of soldiers burning down your printing press and your home.
Mm.
Maybe we see a future where Mr. Moonlight walks himself back up to my estate in Amaranth instead. Do you follow?
I follow, and just to put things in perspective for you, I could have given that article to Marilee. I could have given that article to.
The
I could have.
article and the article, here's the thing. You don't publish it. I stop the project. Right? That's even. Taking care of Marilee? Fine. Mr. Moonlight and this article, this is personal between high elves. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
I don't.
I think that if I walk out of here, Mr. Telena, that you can live your numbered days in fear of when the boot drops on your little anthill. Or you can find a way to get Mr. Moonlight, your dear friend, to my estate.
I could probably coax him back up there. Sure. I'll make sure that happens.
Or I could just kill you right now, right? Like, that's also something I could just do.
You could, but if you remember, that's not the only copy. And if I don't make it back in one piece, it gets distributed. And you might not be the only one who's armed here.
Very well. In a gesture that you would find shockingly not unexpected, he reaches his hand out to shake with you. High elves do not do such things.
Damn. Can I? I'm trying to figure out. I want to shake his hand, wary that he's gonna pull a weapon of some sort.
So like
But I'll
on
shake his
guard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shake his hand, he shakes
He
your
just
hand.
has one of those buzzers that people have, like that prank buzzer. It's just a real dick.
Yeah, you shake his hand. And that's all. He does not do
Right.
anything. He he stands up from the table now, and adjusts his robes, and turns to you and says, I think you might want to make yourself scarce.
I can do that.
Yeah,
You want me to leave?
I think that would be best. I know where to find you.
Great.
The
When do you
building I
want
want
me
to demolish.
to try and see if I can track down Lord Moonlight and tell him to go to your estate?
What was the question? Sorry, did you ask when?
Like when he wants me to get
Oh, well,
Moonlight.
the sooner the better. It's your life that you'll be living in fear until he turns up, so
Sure.
sure.
Well, great. I'll get right on that then.
Okay.
Great. Do you want to go out first? Do you want me to go out first?
Why don't you go?
Great.
You.
All right, and I walk out.
Yeah, he follows you out. You see him pull aside some of his attendants, and kind of talk to them, like kind of pushing Herald Corporation folks aside to talk privately. Yeah, and you leave, I presume.
Yep.
Just one more thing. No.
Okay. All right. Let's stop there for the night.
Oh my god! That was wild!
Elise, you're so intimidating.
Oh, thank you.
You're like, oh, I will fucking kill you, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you're so scary, Elise. Damn.
I know!
My mind, I was losing it.
Okay, Kelvy is gonna
hard.
die one way or the other, either as Kelvy or as Mr. Moonlight.
Yeah,
We'll see.
here's the decision I have to make as Minrai is I have a spell that could force Kelvy to interact with Lord Faisal.
You don't know any of this.
I don't know any of this, but Kelvy doesn't know that I would sacrifice him for the clutch.
Barnabas would never forgive you.
Just sacrifices have to be made. Barnabas would never know. I'm just saying it's an option. We'll try and brainstorm.
Barnabas wants to save Kelvy's bug soul so badly.
I would love
and he
to save
failed with
Kelvy
Neza,
too.
and now it's just like I need to do this.
We'll get you another bug pet.
Yeah, just start doing that weird ululating and clicking sound with your extra vocal cords once you get
I
them.
don't have any
I'll get you a giant
this abilities that
cockroach.
give me combat stuff.
Yeah,
like there's grow like bone blades. There's the throat thing.
And you haven't gotten any of those?
So many of your abilities are just like kind of weird, like, and then this
Yeah.
happened.
Well, just punch somebody in the mouth and make them lick your skin.
That's true.
Do a good mouth punch, and then they'll just like
Stick your hand in their
tongue your
mouth.
knuckles. That was a
Have to
weird
punch
phrase.
See, what you should have done is you should have
Tongue
come
my
on to
knuckles.
Lord Faisal.
Oh damn.
Oh God.
Oh
Well,
boy.
that was fucking wild.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
That temporary bond with Faisal saved your ass.
Yeah, it did. That's why I was really hoping that I had that. for today.
Yeah. All right. I think we're gonna go ahead and shut down the stream, call it a night. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget the !BLM, !donate to find out more about those things. And we'll see you next week.
Jeez.
To see where things go.
God.
From here. And in the meantime, see you tomorrow for Tyr, I think.
Yes,
Great.
we have Tyr tomorrow.
And then there's other things happening on Helpful Goat, like Fates
Fates of Rin.
Is that
No,
happening?
that's us tomorrow.
Because we're tomorrow, so that's not.
We're tomorrow, so
That's
they're
next Friday, yeah.
Yeah, Friday after. Okay. Yep. And we'll see you tomorrow and or next Thursday. Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.